Now, it's no surprise that many amateur wrestlers either go on to become professional wrestlers or they become MMA fighters. I imagine many of them come to a crossroads in their life where they've got to decide whether they want to do silly little play fighting in the underwear or continue to beat up human beings for real, and we're going to take a look at 5 of them that decided to do both. Welcome to the Champions Hub. If you're going to enjoy today's video, be sure to drop a like on it. Also subscribe with those notifications on. We're a brand new channel, so every like and every subscriber really helps this thing grow. And now coming in at number 5, we're just going to get the worst one out of the way, and that is CM Punk. Now, after leaving WWE in 2014, citing one of the main reasons was the fact that his health was not taken into any consideration after he was forced to work through a bloody staph infection which nearly killed him for many months, and he was also fired on his goddamn wedding day. Chick Magnet Punk, yeah, that's actually what the CM stands for, decided to try his hand at MMA in 2016, and well, it didn't go very well. His first fight was in September 2016 against Mickey Gall, where he was defeated in the first round via submission. He then went on to lose his second bout to Mike Jackson in a unanimous decision in June 2018, and that's the last time that we saw CM Punk in the octagon. Now, Dana White said that Phil Brooks should call it a wrap after losing his second fight, and although CM Punk is still signed to the UFC as well as being a commentator for Cage Fury Fighting Championships, he has also recently taken a job at WWE backstage, marking his first kind of return to the company in 6 years, although he's not officially working for WWE. It's kind of a strange one, but with the fact that he is now kind of back in the WWE fold and the fact that he was pretty damn awful, I don't think we're going to be seeing CM Punk in the octagon anytime in the future. And that's probably for the best. Now, coming at number 4, we have Bobby Lashley, who did a lot better job in the octagon than CM Punk. Franklin Roberto Lashley was born the son of a US Army drill sergeant, and if that doesn't make you tough as fucking nails, I don't know what will. Lashley had an incredible run as an amateur wrestler, winning many silver and gold freestyle medals before making his way over to WWE in 2005. While he perhaps didn't have the greatest WWE career, he did become the United States champion as well as a 2-time ECW champion. After leaving WWE in 2008, Bobby Lashley made his way over to TNA as well as trying his hand at mixed martial arts, where he became pretty successful in it, most notably in Bellator, where he is actually undefeated in the promotion. Now, Bobby Lashley wrapped up his first run in MMA in 2016 with 15 wins and 2 losses before making his return to WWE in 2018, where he has since gone on to become a 2-time Intercontinental Champion and also take part in one of the worst storylines ever with Rusev and Lana. Whether Bobby Lashley will return to MMA in the future remains to be seen, but he's doing pretty well in WWE right now, so I can't see it being on the cards in the near future, but only time will tell. Now, coming in at number 3 is Dan Severn. Now, Dan the Beast Severn is without a doubt one of the pioneers of mixed martial arts. He is the only UFC Triple Crown champion and has also had one of the most impressive UFC careers of all time. He is a current UFC Hall of Fame member as well as an NWA Hall of Fame member, and like the next one we're going to be talking about in a minute, people always think of Dan Severn as being a UFC fighter that went into pro wrestling, where in fact he was a pro wrestler first who went into mixed martial arts and then back to pro wrestling and then back to mixed martial arts and then kind of did both of them at the same time in his later years. Dan Severn has a 101 win, 19 loss and 7 draw record, which is seriously one of the most impressive fight records of all time in mixed martial arts. The Beast started his amateur wrestling career way back in the 1970s, and before his 18th birthday he was already ranked top 6 in the United States in the open division and placed in the Olympic trials. The Beast was a 2-time All-American at Arizona State University, where he's currently in the Hall of Fame, before making his way into professional wrestling in the early 90s. During the 90s, Dan the Beast Severn worked for UWF International in Japan, the National Wrestling Alliance and the World Wrestling Federation, or the WWE today. He did have a pretty decent run in the NWA and is also an NWA Hall of Fame member. He had a fairly decent run in the World Wrestling Federation between 97 and 99, but it's without a doubt that the UFC is where he shone and that is where he is best known for. Starting his mixed martial arts career in 1994, he is one of the pioneers of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, or UFC, and he had his last fight in 2012 before hanging up his boots in both pro wrestling and MMA a few years later. The Beast will go down forever in history as one of the greatest mixed martial arts fighters of all time. Now coming in at number 2 is the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock. Now Ken is another guy that started off in pro wrestling before transitioning to MMA, before going back to pro wrestling and then back to MMA, and he's also currently a professional wrestler for Impact Wrestling. Now like Dan, Ken started off his formative years as a pro wrestler in Japan in the UWF before making his way over to WWE in 1997, but before then he took part in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Much like Dan Severn in the early years, he was one of the founders and very early influencers in the sport of MMA. And he actually currently holds the record for the longest fight in UFC history at 36 minutes of Royce Gracie at UFC 5. Now after a really successful start in the octagon where he rarely lost a fight, he moved over to the WWF in 1997 where he stayed until 1999, and unfortunately he didn't quite have the run that he should have. He had championship material written all over him, but he never quite reached those heights. He made his way back in the octagon in the early 2000s while also wrestling for the likes of TNA and New Japan before going more full-time in UFC once again. He had his last fight at Bellator 149 in 2016, and he now wrestles full-time for Impact Wrestling where he's a Hall of Fame member as well as a UFC Hall of Fame member as well. Ken Shamrock will forever go down as being one of the most legit fighters to ever step into both the octagon and the professional wrestling ring, and he really did live up to the nickname the world's most dangerous man. Now coming in at number 1 is of course the beast Brock Lesnar. Now Brock is just a beast in pretty much anything that he sets his mind to except football. In his amateur wrestling career, he ended up with 106 wins and 5 losses, becoming a 2-time NCAA All-American, an NJCAA heavyweight champion, and an NCAA heavyweight champion. Brock Lesnar was pretty dominant in the amateur wrestling world. He then made his way over to the WWE in 2002 where he continued to dominate, becoming the youngest WWE champion at the time at the age of 25, defeating none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson at SummerSlam 2002. He went on to have a dominant run all the way up until WrestleMania 20 in 2004. After leaving WWE in 2004, he went over to New Japan where he became the IWGP Heavyweight Champion in 2005, before making his way over to the UFC in 2008 where he currently has a 5-3 record. So although not the most impressive record in the world, he has still been a dominant force in the world of MMA nonetheless. Brock made his return to WWE in 2012 where he has been absolutely dominant in the promotion, and he also has it in his contract that he can legally go to the UFC and fight while also being under contract in the WWE. And of course Vince McMahon is not going to say no to him because this is the man that F5 a Shark in 2003. You do not say no to a man who F5'd a Shark. Whether Brock returns to the octagon in the future remains to be seen, but he is making a lot of money in WWE, and if he goes back to UFC he will also make a lot of money there, so I would expect him to probably at least step through the octagon at least one more time, but that remains to be seen and nothing is confirmed as of yet. And there we go, that is our list. Did we leave any out? Let us know in the comment section down below. And if you've enjoyed this video or do you want to see more stuff like this on the channel, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also subscribe with those notifications on. We're a brand new channel, so every like and every subscriber really helps this thing grow. We hope you're having an amazing day and we'll see you guys in the next one.